So we are done with part A. We are in part B. Part B, we are done with number 1, number 2, and we are in number 3. We have to find how many patients are smokers, have diabetes, have a family issue of heart disease. Okay, so go back to our charts. Now, in order to find those things, we need to use the if counts. The if count tool or formula or function. The if count functions. Okay, so looks like I'm not finding our okay, so this is it. I want to find the if counts or count if. So we go back to our question. It says patients that are smokers have diabetes, history of heart disease. So we can decide to type it in full. Patients that are smokers, non-smokers, patients who have heart disease. Patients who have heart disease. Those who don't have, or those without heart disease. This is what our question says we should look for. Let's glance at the question again. Okay, so we go to our data set, our original data set. Let's observe the data. As we observe the data, smokers is yes, no. So you cannot, we are using Excel, we don't need to be counting. Some people can count one after the other, but the purpose of using Excel is to make work easy and simple. So there's a function called the COUNTIF function. The COUNTIF function. So we use the COUNTIF function to determine the number of people that are smokers and those who are not smokers, those who have diabetes, those who don't have diabetes, and those who have family history of heart disease. So let's follow the question strictly. It isn't patients who have heart disease, family history of patients. So fam history. history. That's my story. So farm history of those without heart disease. Alright, so patients that are smokers, we're using the COUNTIF function like I said. So you see, those that have are yes, so let's put into bracket yes. In our data, when you see yes for heart disease, it means they are patients who have heart disease. When you see no, meaning these are patients who don't have heart disease. When you see no for smokers, it means patients who don't smoke. You see, so the if count will help us. So watch this. You click this cell. This cell, the name of the cell is gene 510, gene 510. Click it. We go to the formula tab, then we go to insert function, we go to count. In fact, let's type it here. Type the COUNTIF. COUNTIF. So we click yes. So what is our range? Then the same range we've been using throughout. The smokers are in column gene. So gene 3 to gene 503. You have entered too few arguments for this function. The reason why it's giving us this is because we need to tell it no or yes. We are looking for no, so put it in. So like this, then you, what am I making wrong? What mistake is there? Okay, yes, so I made a mistake. Instead of putting the bracket last, I placed the bracket somewhere in the middle. So gene 4 to gene 503. Enter. Then I come to continue the formula or the function, comma, no, because we are looking for non-smokers. Why is it messing up? It's not supposed to mess up like this. I've seen the mistake. As for Excel, you have to be very careful. You see, over here it is 4,503. It's supposed to be 503 and not 4,503. So I clean the 4 and then type enter again. So now you realize that 234 people are non-smokers. Let's try and find the family history of patients who have heart diseases. We still use the if count. In fact, as for the if count, the formula is there already. right? The same thing we'll do, we'll just drag, right? Okay, so just drag, highlight this one or this one, and drag. The formula will work for the down values as well. You understand? If it duplicates the results like this, you have to undo it. I don't know why. So this is, oh, I don't know why, what is wrong here. It's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. I wanted to skip a whole lot of typing and typing. That's why I'm trying to use this, and it is not minding me. I don't know why it is not minding me. I get it now. The reason why you cannot duplicate this is because this is a yes, if count, range yes, and this is if count, range no. So there are two different sets of information, and you cannot duplicate it to get the next result. So instead, I can copy this formula, right? I can copy this formula and come and paste the formula in this one. Why is this thing messing up? Then press enter. The reason why I'm getting this one wrong is that I have to check. We are dealing with family history of patients who have had disease. I have to go back and go to the column and look for where heart diseases. Family of history is in column J. So I have to come and edit the formula and use J. So J4 range or column J 503. Now I'll press enter, and that is when I'll get the correct value, you see. So I can copy this formula. I'm feeling lazy to type. Like, if not, I would have typed everything. Let me type this one. So equal to count if into brackets the range. We are in J. The reason why we are using column J is because the family of history of those without the family of histories are in column J. You understand? And we want to quickly find those without heart disease. Family history of those without heart disease. So we use if count and the range. We know our start patient number is J4 colon. The last one is J503. Remember to bring our yes or no. we are looking for no, because without heart disease, so no. Press enter. So it has given us the value of patients without heart disease. Now we can beautify our what's the name, our data, right? You can beautify our data. We want to beautify our data. So quick one there. You know how to change the colors already. Right. Okay. So this table is for part B. So in fact, this is what I'll do so that I'll show you. If you want to make our work look presentable so that the teacher knows what we are doing, so remember that this one was part A, and then this part of our work is part B. Part B. So I'll enlarge it. I just go here and enlarge part A. I want to insert this to show an arrow. Okay. So part A, and I'll insert one here too. I'll copy this, come and paste it here. I can turn it. Part B is here. Okay. So what's next? What's next? I think by now you should be able to understand the trend of what we are actually working on. We found, I want to make our table more visible, so I want to add some borders to it. So we move back to our question. What percentage of patients have heart disease do not have heart disease? So we go to our table. So we look at the original data set and look at heart disease. Heart disease is 1 and 0. The values here are 1 and 0. Making the values a numerical classification of data is numerical and we are depending on it. So heart disease 1 and 0. So we can still use the if count. We can still use the if count, and I'll show you how to do it. So let us do our data under the heart disease, right? And heart disease is in column L. You can see it here, column L. So we can do our data here. So we can start by typing patients with heart disease. Patients with heart disease. I'll extend this one a bit. Patients with heart disease. Patients with heart disease. Patients without heart disease. So the next one is patients without heart disease. And is the if count is the one we are going to still use. So we click on this cell right here because we want our result to be in that active cell. As usual, we go to the formula tab. We look forward to some more functions. If count, yes. The range, we type the range. The range is from L. Heart disease is in column L, so remember, so L 3 2 L 503. What's the criteria? The criteria is one. We are looking for 1. 1 means has heart disease. 0 means patient without heart disease. It's saying I've entered a wrong value because there were 2 commas. So I cleaned one of the comma. I'm gonna do it again so that you see. I go to AutoSum, more functions, select the if count, press OK. I type the range. I know that those who don't understand why I always use those L1 and things. See, heart disease is here, and then look at, you see this thing, you see it as I clicked on it, they wrote L4. You see, because that's the cell name. The cell name is L4. The cell name is L4. So when you look at the name box, you see immediately I click on this cell, you see L4 comes. You see L4. Look at it, L4. So you realize that this is L4. The first patient is L4. From the first patient, a range from the first patient to the last patient gives you L503. You see that. Now what's the criteria? 0. The criteria is 0. So we put it in this commas. 0. make sure you bring the inverted commas. So 0. 0 means patients without heart disease. So you press OK. It's giving you the number of patients without heart disease. Now we are looking for percentage. What is the percentage of this? So percentage. How do we find percentage? How do we find percentage? Okay, I wanted to see whether I can find a short formula among these ones, but I'm not seeing it. So I'll go back here and then go and type percentage. So you see percentage has appeared. Percent. So what's the percentage of this? Why isn't it working? So percentile. What is the percentile? Percent of this. I think we don't have. I'm using an old version of Excel. As soon as I type this, percent of this cell is supposed to give me the percentage. Or let me see. I think, the easiest way to go is just use your distance to solve it. But listen, let me solve the percentage. We know the total number is 500, right? Total number is 500. So percentage of this. So 500 is equal to 100, and then 266 is equal to x. So you cross multiply, you will get a percentage. So we can use a quick formula for that. As for, there are many ways in killing a cat. There are many ways in killing a cat. I wanted to solve it. You know that equivalent ratio thing. You can solve it here. But yeah, so we'll solve it. This is the formula. Sorry for keeping you waiting. We know our total mark. We know our total is 500, right? And then this cell L509 times, in Excel asterisk means times. When you press shift plus 8, you will get the asterisk. So L509 times 100 divided by the total. The total is 500. But I think it's advisable to use yeah, let's use 500. Let's see. So we had this, right? I want to use another formula to see whether we'll still get 53.2. Let's use this formula. So instead of using this 500 here, I'll use this L503, and let's see what we get. Wrong value. Okay, let's use this and let's see what we get. Also a wrong value. So therefore I conclude that it is advisable to use the 500. So just use the total 500, that's all. So we have this percentage, then we use the same formula for this one. So we press our equal to this cell times this cell times 100 divided by 500. Those who are good at maths, if you like, try using this formula and see whether you will not get the answer. You will actually get the answer. What the L510 means is this L510 represents it represents this value to L509 represents 266, and then L510 represents 234. So when you see this thing, don't get confused. So we've now gotten our total results. This is our percentage. So we can name this. We can name this results. Okay, results. And then we can name this one percentage results. Percentage results. So that's it. Now we actually done with part B. We are totally done with part B. So I'll save it. Now mind you, save it so that be saving, those who use desktops and all that, they can give light off and you lose all your data. If you use a laptop and your battery is good, fine. But if your battery is not good, save it so that your work does not get lost out of power outage. So you can beautify your this thing. You understand? You can beautify it nicely. Okay, so that's it. We are done with part B. We go back to our questions. So we are done with question 4. What percentage of patients have heart disease do not have heart disease? When you look in our listing, 53.2% have heart disease, 46.8 don't have heart disease. You understand? Percent. So that's the percentage. 266 patients have heart disease. 234 patients do not have heart disease. So you can see it here accordingly. All right, so we are moving to the interesting part. Let's go to our charts again. So part C.